it could bring issues.
What kind of issues?
I don't know.
Freedom of speech.
No, freedom of speech. You see, when we are talking, see, that's my problem I have with national security. You see, this country is what it is because of a national security. If we get the national security that is into chaos, look, this country will not be stable. And stability is so important for every country, especially for economic purposes. I have always said that there's no multinational in the world that will want to site their headquarters in Ghana if Nigeria is not having Boko Haram. If Nigeria was the country that is as stable as Ghana, I tell you that every multinational will prefer Nigeria. Because when we come to the economic dynamics, in terms of the population, in terms of the middle class, the numbers that are in the middle class in Nigeria, the purchasing power and everything, Nigeria beats everybody on the continent, including, let alone the sub-region. So, but if you look at the damage Boko Haram, the insecurity Boko Haram has caused in Nigeria, and the damage economically it has caused to Nigeria, has benefited Ghana that a lot of the countries will want to come to Ghana. If you look at Twitter, when Twitter came to Ghana, Nigerians were so furious. And they were right to be furious. Because they said, look,
you mean Twitter?
Headquarters in Ghana. They said, look, how many Ghanaians are on Twitter? There are 34 million Nigerians on Twitter. And that 34 million is more than the entire population of Ghana. And if you are making money out of the people who use your service, and we have the numbers that even outweigh the total population of Ghana, on what basis will you want to choose Ghana as head over us? And they were so justified. So the citizens were so furious that this will not be fair to us. But they forget one thing, that Twitter took that decision looking at so many things, including security. So for me, it's so important that when it comes to national security matters, we shouldn't joke with it at all. Unfortunately, something has been creeping into our national security for some time now, especially when we came to this Fourth Republic. It appears we have opened it up to all kinds of people, all kinds of characters, and it has become a creature, some monster that is rather intimidating the people of the country instead of protecting us. And for me, that image is so bad for them. People go around, I am national security, look at my card. What is he going to do? Somebody owes somebody, is going to run the person to pay the debt. If you make a letter arrest them from national security, then you hold some gota. Hey, hello, Mr. President, are you calling me? This is what they do. And
you have personal experience of
this? Plenty. Where my office is plenty.
They do that.
And this is our boys who were in national. Now NPP come, some boys who have found their way, and now they say, your time has come. Your government will also come again. These are people that we know. See, let's stop pretending like this is not happening. So, is it that?
So basically, you're suggesting that the national security has become like a breeding ground
for all kinds of. I just find it so difficult that we have reduced our national security to a point where even the citizens don't have any regard for the national security anymore, because they feel that, look, the place has become a place that all kinds of people who do not qualify to even get close to their gate find themselves as people who claim they are working there. And at the end of the day, most of the things they do is rather against the citizens instead of protecting the citizens. And that's why I say this is a problem. Because if you wanted to go into what has happened in terms of Caleb and what has happened in Kumasi, you see, it paints a picture that there's chaos at national security. I never slept and dreamt that a national security coordinator will grant an interview, direct interview to radio station. I was shocked when I heard him speaking to radio. I'm like, where? In America, the Joint Chiefs of Staff will brief the spokesperson. They themselves will come and address the press conference. Once they finish addressing, they are gone. They leave the questions to the spokesperson who is going to handle the media. But this one, they called him on phone and he was granting interview on radio. I'm like, really, something is wrong somewhere.
Isn't it because of how he alleges he was treated? And I mean,
I'm not talking about the Ashanti, I'm talking about the National Security Coordinator.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about that.
All right.
And to think that the National Security Coordinator.
Are you talking about Dumanfo?
Yes. And Ashanti Coordinator could be clashing and be already exchanging words, my brother. We have a problem. Let's admit that there's something seriously wrong at national security. The Mr. President must sit up. President must call an emergency meeting and begin to look at something at national security. What has happened? Look, especially between the national coordinator and the Ashanti regional coordinator, my brother. It's a serious issue. If you sit back, I'm not a security expert, but when I look at what happened in other countries, so especially the serious ones, and I compare to what I heard on radio this week, I couldn't believe it. The Ashanti regional coordinator was a deputy commissioner of police.
Yeah.
He's not an ordinary person, a deputy commissioner of police. My brother, that is equal to a brigadier general in the armed forces. A deputy commissioner of police, and the kind of things he was saying, my brother, we have a problem. Look, let's admit that all is not well with our national security. And we must, as a nation, call for a lot to be done to repackage a national security that's supposed to be there. We close our borders for over 1 year now because of COVID.
Our land borders.
But we are all aware that people cross the borders into this country every day and go out every day. The land borders. We are aware. So if you have a national security that your borders are closed and people are crossing in and out every day, but what they are interested in to come and intimidate the ordinary citizen, to organize themselves into cars and be jumping out with AK-47 as if they are at the war front. In the full glare of the public, not in a hidden space, in the full glare of the where everybody can see them. And they load themselves into 3 pickups, raid a media house, jumping out of pickups with AK-47s in hand. Just to go to a media house, please. We are having a problem and we must all admit it. This is not the kind of national security I, Elvis, expected. This is not how I want to see my national security work. What has happened? That's why I would believe Caleb that he was brutalized. Because if in the full glare of the public, you could show this level of force, in the full glare of the public, what could you have done in a hidden place? So for me, I have no doubt about the narration about Caleb, because if you could do this where everybody can see you, what will you be doing when nobody can see you in your own office? So please, let's look. I said, if you want to look into this, it's not a national security that doesn't even know that when you use an iPhone to take a video and you delete it on the person's phone, the video is already in the cloud.
I don't think you can. You
I know, because the gentleman still has the video.
Yes, but so, can you say they don't know that?
If they don't know it, they say I deleted it. Why is that the gentleman still have the video? Please, security in this world today has moved beyond guns. That's why now North Korea is no longer, nobody cares about North Korea anymore. Nobody is talking much about North Korea or Iran nuclear weapons anymore, much. Because they realize that the damage that can be caused to you in the cyberspace is more than what can be caused to you when you have your atomic bomb. How many people has COVID killed? Can you imagine what one bow weapon can do in the world? How many atomic bomb can kill the number of people that COVID has killed so far in the world? So please, our national security, we want them to protect us. We want them to protect the country.
So your point is
we want them to behave
of
in a way that will show that it's a national security. What transpired in the Caleb case and between what happened at an Ashanti regional coordinator and the national security coordinator on radio, granting interviews and replying each other left and right. Please, something is wrong at national security in terms of organizational level, in terms of operations and everything. Something is wrong. Okay. I think that the people who matter in that space need to sit up and reorganize the institution and let it work as a national security and not a national intimidation institution. That is what they are doing to us. And we don't think that's what they are supposed to be doing. They should do things that will see them as a national security. And it's so unfortunate that a national security comes to tell me that somebody has been able to impersonate and had access to their premises. By now, the national security minister and the coordinator should have resigned in a serious country. For that statement to even come from them.
This one can easily be done.
Okay?
Yeah.
For that statement to come from them.
Security premises,
admitting, issuing a statement.
It can easily be
and
done.
admitting that somebody has been able to impersonate and had access to their premises and filmed for 21 minutes. Please, something really is wrong.
We've enjoyed that's Elvis Darko going on about national security.
The last bit I disagree with you.
Yeah, we'll take your thoughts on that. But we've been joined in the studio by Andy Kankam, who's the editor of the Informer newspaper. And Andy, welcome. And I believe you've been following the discussion so far. I want to get a sense of what you feel has gone wrong or is going wrong, or whether anything has gone wrong, having specific regard to the Caleb incident as well as DCOP Opariado. What is alleged to have transpired and all that, but situating it within its proper context, because like Elvis was talking about, there have been interviews that have been granted, and for instance, it's been suggested that DCOP Operado was removed for incompetence as well as some alleged criminal activities, and generally that he was incalcitrant in terms of his behavior and his reporting relationship with his superiors. Isn't it problematic, like Andy is saying, that we're even playing this out in the public domain?
Yes. It's calls for...
You won't greet our listeners.
Good morning.
You apologize for coming late.
Dog, but if you don't tell them...
If I didn't tell them, they won't know.
They won't know.
You have told them that you are a habitual latecomer.
Good morning to listeners.
Yes.
Good morning to colleagues. Nana,
Good morning, Andy.
Doc, I think there is a great sense of concern because, and this is not the first time, that is why I think that national security outfit needs some restructuring. During the days of Kojuchi Kata, the likes of Francis Poku, Totobi Kwache, you hardly hear them speak, come out publicly to comment on issues. Unfortunately, wait. Unfortunately, when Bevlo was made the national security coordinator, he was granting interviews. Very unfortunate, though.
Is there anything wrong in itself, like for a national security coordinator to be granted interviews?
No, you see, that is why you have an information or a communication desk. So whatever you have, you package it, and then you give it to them to speak on. For the national security outfit, you have to coordinate the activities of the interstate agencies. For instance, when Bevlo Latte went and was positioning himself at the Legon, supervising a demolition of that structure, that wasn't his job. If you pay your report, you think that there is something wrong that can endanger the lives of motorists flying that route, what will you do? You make a paper to the appropriate agency, that is highways or whatever, for them to take action, not you. So that means that the national security outfit in general, we need some restructuring. You see, this monster, I don't know, national security, people don't even understand. It's a brain box of every country. That is where policies emanate. And I always say this to the credit of Mr. Francis Poku. When 2000 Kufuor came to office, 2001, and they analyzed the crime rate, the age bracket, and what have you. Then he came out with this youth employment policy. After presenting that paper to cabinet, then the appropriate agency was asked to take over. That's the Minister of Youth and Employment. So national security, it is brain work that goes on there. In some jurisdictions, that is why their policies for annually or whatever is hosted on the net. People are invited to make input. But our national security has become the dumping ground of party foot soldiers. And MPP, NDC, they all do it. They all do it. MPP, NDC. Anytime there is a change of government, they all do it. The same boys there. I mean, and they will go. Even if they are not allocated go tests, they will go and buy some toy. Oh, no, they will go and buy some toy and be holding, get some Mokola, get some suit, and then, I work at national. Which of the FBI officers will come and tell you that, advertise himself that I work with FBI? When you are an undercover agent. So the training is also
But to be fair, not all of them are supposed to be operating in a clandestine manner or operating.
It is the party boys. It's the party boys. You are an operative.
We have policemen who work at national security, uniform one. But when you use the word, you are an operative. You are an undercover agent. You are not the one that should be identified.
So you are not to go, even if you go advertising yourself, they can kill you. Every undercover job comes with its own troubles. When you succeed, we applaud you. That is why our colleagues issue, Caleb, yes, unfortunate though. But you see, I am only concerned about their mode of arrest. You can just invite these people for some discussion. and then tell them that, listen, that is a restricted area. You are not to go there. And you advise them, please, if you have taken some pictures, please delete them. It's simple, rather than going with that Rambo style and just to that showmanship. And I am only concerned because Caleb alleged that he was tortured in the presence of DSP Samuel Kojo Azugu. What is he still doing at National Security? Because from the recommendations, it is captured in the Milshot Commission on the Ayawaso West Wagon that he should be removed from that place and reassigned. What is he doing? Even today, a newspaper, Daybreak, I don't know, I'm yet to read that story and get that there was some brawl between some GIS officers, Ghana immigration officers, and that of some national security operators. And Azugu has popped up again. No, somebody must tell us something. Now, the issue regarding Kumasi, this Opariado has called a bluff of Brigadier General Major General Eduamanfo, the National Security Coordinator. In the first place, it wasn't necessary for them to come and engage in that banter, that dogfight. It's unnecessary. Today, you see this COP Opariado coming out with some tall list of his credentials and what he has done, and that any attempt to assassinate his character, tag him as criminal, in fact, he will fight it. So it is not healthy. This is a senior police officer. What has he done? There was an attack on him. How do we solve it? So you see the dogfight, meaning that, listen, something is not working. We need some restructuring of the national security setup. Because recently, I know an act was passed to make national security look more practical in terms of carrying out some social responsibilities. Because even if we don't have water to drink, this water shortage or whatever, it's a national security problem.
Security concern, yes.
Yes. So I think we need the president as the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And for me, anytime there is a minister, there is a coordinator, and the rest, there is always a problem. Either you appoint a minister or coordinator, or you only do one, and allow the coordinator to pick his operational men, and those in charge of administration to just handle the place. I think that we have some fine gentlemen, personalities working on national security, but it is the party boys. See, because of the promises we make to them. And just this morning, I was looking at a clip from the opposition general secretary, Amina Sedunketia, speaking on one of the networks regarding this IPAC meeting that the NDC
did not participate.
Listen, you know, what he was saying was, he said something which I think is very dangerous for the security of this country.
Okay.
That now, if the state is using a vigilante to go and remove people from office, as for Jemensa and what they are doing, they should wait. They will remove them too when the time comes. When he was pushed, that what are you saying? Are you saying that you are going to use force to go and remove Jemensa or whatever?
And you heard this yourself.
Oh, I have the video here. I have it here. You heard it.
Speaking on Angel FM.
Angel FM.
No, I just want to be sure.
No, it's here.
Evidence of doubt.
It's here. So you see how people are gauging all these things, that as if there is some lawlessness in this country or there's nobody in control. So the president, I agree, the president must step in immediately because the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
But in the situation where it's been alleged that DCOP Opariado was incalcitrant in the sense that he was not even sending reports, not reporting directly to the National Security Coordinator, and also basically his term of office was terminated, he was fired, and he refused to leave office. As a senior security person, nobody's justifying any allegation or the fact that he may have been manhandled or anything, but it goes to what I think Elvis was talking about and what you've touched on as well too, that there probably is some disconnect somewhere in the system.
Yes, because as a national security coordinator, how can my liaison officer in a region disrespect my directives or orders? How was he appointed in the first place? That is what we should be looking at. Was it appointed by the coordinator? Then he's answerable to the coordinator.
It's changed.
Right? So if he was appointed by the presidency, then fine. Because I heard him saying that, the president said he should continue or whatever. And you see, he also makes some revelations, and I think we should hold him on that. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Though we condemn the dastardly attack on him. He said that he knows these boys. He's been working with them. What have you been doing with them? And today you call them. You see, you know them. You've been working with them. But the point of the departure was that they came and asked you to engage in galamsey, and you say you won't do it.
Oh.
So what have you been doing with them? What have you been doing there? And the National Security Coordinator, in fact, you will do us a great good if you also come out with the criminal activities that this man is engaging. Because if you just say that, he was engaging in criminal activities and blah, blah, blah. Now he's calling your bluff. That they shouldn't mind you. That is a distinguished officer. Commission officer. It's a commissioner.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about?
I believe one of the allegations in terms of the alleged criminal activities includes the formation of illegal task force that basically is alleged to have engaged in bribery and extortion in the Ashanti region.
And the National Security Coordinator is saying this, that the regional coordinator can do this, and he is sitting in Accra.
Will not be aware.
Nothing about it.
Look,
and he won't write a report to you as the head.
Doc.
Doc,
let's be fair today. You know, this man was appointed not long ago, the new national security. So let's put that in perspective. It is not the man who was there when this guy was appointed, when DCOP Opari was appointed. It's just a new person who has come in. And he will probably, let's just don't condemn the new national security coordinator. Because he might have looked at certain files, information that said, look, I have looked at the response of DCOP Opari. I have not seen where, like, for instance, this lack of reporting to the national listing. He has not responded to that. Look, because this is a serious matter that you are in charge of Ashanti region. Yeah. If there must be security reports, and you should be reporting them to the national level. The allegation is that you've not been doing that, and you are responding. This major issue, his response doesn't contain it.
No. Listen, don't begrudge him. He has decided to dwell on the character assassination.
Yeah,
how you think that?
Yeah.
But
is it not a shame that we have been told that the second largest region in Ghana, and the security coordinator that does not file reports to the national headquarters? I'm telling you that there's something wrong at national security.
So can I make my point? So can I make my point? I've asked this question you are asking, the mode of appointment, who appointed him, who was he answerable to, and all that. I have asked those when I was making my comment. But I'm saying that, look, this is a serious matter. You are in charge of the second biggest region in Ghana. You are in charge of that. And there are a lot of activities going on there. You are supposed to be reporting to the national office, headquarters. And the allegation is that you have not done so for some time. You are responding to your so-called criminal activities, and you have left out this major thing. He has not told us that, look, my national security coordinator is lying. I have been reporting. This is the evidence. I have reported from this day. This is the report, not just to disclose the report. What he has been reporting, but can give specific periods that you have sent reports to the national office.
That's what both the two of your other colleagues are suggesting, that then there is a disconnect.
No, we have said that there's actually a problem with. When I started, I said there's even a problem, structural problem with national security. Mode of that is, you look at chain of command, and you look at reporting systems and all that. We have said that. Somebody is saying that if we have the national security minister, we probably should not have national security coordinator. You know, there's a history to this. You know, under President Kufuor, before President Kufuor, we didn't have national security minister. Yeah. And there was a problem in Parliament about reporter on security issues to Parliament. Yeah. You know, national security coordinator cannot address Parliament on those matters. It has to be a minister in charge of national security. Yeah. That was why former President Kufuor, then converted National Security Coordinator, then Francis Poku, to National Security Minister. So that any time there was a problem, he could move to Parliament to address the situation. That was why that was done. And you realize that when it was done, it worked perfectly until in recent times when
the coordinator was not appointed.
Yes, when in fact the whole thing, the problems actually started with national security architecture from President Mills up to now. From President Mills up to now, I mean the dichotomy between the minister and the coordinator. It started from
when
there.
President Mills came, it was only Mills Mahama, it was only the coordinators. There was no minister.
Okay, there was no minister.
Yes,
okay.
It was, 2017, then President Akufo-Addo also appointed Mr. Kandapa minister.
But we had a national security, security coordinator who, as you said, was speaking to the media all over the place, was talking.
And I'm saying that
the danger of it, national security coordinator addressing media is that, look, you are in charge of a whole country. You face media. They may be asking you questions that you are not privy to. Your regional heads might not have reported those things to you. So if you ask questions on them and you don't have, how are you going to address it? You make yourself look stupid when you do that. You only address the media when you gather information, hold press briefing to give information on national security. That's what you do. You don't go talk to media every day. You don't talk to media every day, especially when you don't have information about the whole country at a particular point, when journalists will subject you to diligent scrutiny. That's a problem we have in this country. Look, we have all agreed on this and that it's a structural problem with our national security and the way they operate. And it is about time we did something about it to ensure the security of this country. If you don't do this, look, it will increase the propaganda that some people are feeding into the system, that there's some kind of insecurity in the system. And once that feeling of insecurity creeps in, look, people begin to take law into their own hands, and it further endangers our security. And that's very important. That's why we need to sit up and streamline our mode of, command, our recruitment, our structure in the whole security outfit, and to ensure that there is this sanity in the system.
That one is already there. The law of national security did not ask them to employ people from any other place. The law mandates national security to pick people from the various security intelligence agencies to form operational duties if they have to go. The national coordinator has people, but then he's supposed to be picking from the various security agencies to form teams that he wants to work with on every issue. Yeah. So this statement we are going to bring people outside who are not members of any of the security agencies is something that people are doing on their own because it's not part of the act.
But they promised the boys.
They have been advised to this national security ministry that, look, national security, that you must have a communication unit. See, all this brouhaha that they are having with Parade was necessary, or was not necessary, and could have been dealt with a simple press release, okay? Yeah. If they had announced that the man's contract had been terminated, and the media carries everybody, oh, this man's contract has been terminated. If it's removed, how will he go and tell somebody the Delta Force has come to remove him? But you didn't tell the public that the man's contract has been terminated. You get people to go and pull him out of office. He goes to the media first to say that you have sent Delta boys to come and remove it and narrate all kinds of incidents. Before now, you are telling the public that his contract has been terminated. How do you expect the public to think that you are doing the right thing?
Why must they tell Ghanaians that the man's contract has been terminated when the man himself should have known that this is it? If your contract is not renewed, why would you be in office?
You want to cure
the public spectacle and the mischief. Which one is better?
You want to cure the mischief.
The public spectacle and the mischief that has gone on so far now. And if you had done that, wouldn't you have cured all these things?
Yeah, that's a plausible argument. I think what I would do is saying is that
security people think that they don't need to communicate, but I can tell you, communication is key to every institution.
Oh no,
but nobody has said that. Nobody has said that.
So
this man,
Elvis, hold on.
Give it to police people.
Elvis, nobody can hear you now.
If their contract are not renewed,
Elvis, no one can hear you. What I would do is saying is that if the man himself, if your contract has been terminated
or ended,
or it has come to an end, what business do you have remaining in office?
Is it that business is that the man says that I'm not going. You have written the person, and the person I'm not going, and the person says that he's a friend to the president, so he is gotten directive from the president that he should stay in office. That should tell them there's something.
Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?
Are you asking me?
That was what he said.
That's how lawless the man should be. The man himself.
that has led to all this spectacle. So the very moment the man took that position, you should know that in his case, you have to find a way of dealing with it.
All right.
Do you understand it?
So
when a contract is given on paper, if it's extended, it's supposed to be on paper, right? That's why me for all I've just said that we have more intelligent young people that are less than 60. That's why I'm opposed to anybody that is 60 years that is being given contract in any institution in Ghana in this country, apart from the medical field. Who said that what DCOP or Pare Ado has Pare Ayesu has going to do in Kumasi? We don't have national security people who are in service who can do that. Who said that we don't have?
All right, Elvis, you've made your point. So now what's the way forward? I mean, all of you seem to agree on the fact that there probably is some disconnect within the operational scheme or structure of national security and the modus operandi, for instance. And there has been suggestions that reform is needed. What type of reform is needed? Closing comments. What type of reform is needed, and will it solve or help solve any of the problems that we've been seeing? Like, especially when all of you seem to be in agreement that it has become the breeding grounds for party boys and foot soldiers to be put in there and all that. Andy, I start with you.
Reform in terms of recruitment. They must be given proper orientation on what national security is about. The whole national security sector, we need some restructuring. The mode of appointment has to be clear.
Restructuring, when you say restructuring,
I mean
what
restructuring,
do you mean?
I mean the chain of command. I mean, who takes order from somebody. For instance, if Opariado was appointed by the coordinator, he has no business saying that the president is his friend. Were you appointed by the president? You were appointed by the coordinator. So the mode of appointment, in fact, we need to look at it. And anytime, like Elvis said, you are to coordinate the activities of the interstate agencies in terms of security agencies. And so if you need some operations, you call people from the police, from the NIB, and then you move. The defense intelligence, the defense intelligence, you call them and then you move for operations. Even when you think that you can go and dump some party boys, please, you tell them to behave. You understand? You tell them to behave. And for me, I don't think that, in fact, the coordinator fell for this man's trap. In the first place, you should have just allowed this man. At the appropriate time, you issue a statement, and then you leave this man. But coming publicly with this banter, it's not healthy for our security, because as we speak, Ghana has been chosen by the international community to serve as a case study, just to, as the world, Elvis said, for neighboring countries, safeguarding the use of online services. And why can we be doing this when we are doing something well in terms of the cyberspace? And so we need some serious restructuring. We need some serious restructuring.
Okay, Audu, what are your thoughts on this idea of reform?
Look, first of all, as he said, we should not be putting party foot soldiers in the national security. NDC and MPP should stop this practice. When they go on campaigning, that's what they tell them. You will win, you will be part of national security. I don't know what they do there. Second, I don't see why people who are recruited into national security that is supposed to use intelligence. There should be some level of educational attainment that should go into that outfit. At least a level of look. In
the cyber security, the least is first degree.
Yes,
masters and in charge. It's a
and that is part of cybersecurity. It's part of national security, and therefore that should be the level. I need the minimum level of recruitment to that service should be at least a degree. Look, you cannot be putting party food soldiers who even thumbprint crowd. Some don't know how to thumbprint, and these are the people working on national security. They don't know how to even handle suspects. They don't know how to invite suspects to their stations. They go there, they hold your trousers, pull you as if you are a common criminal for mere allegation. So that is a problem. Look, recruitment, the level of education, we should look at that. Party foot soldiers should not be put in. It's not a dumping ground. National security is not dumping ground for party foot soldiers. MPP and NDC should get that clear. They should stop worrying us with their party foot soldiers in their level. I have a bad listing of going to Castle one time. I went and saw these people. They were all in some, how do you call it? How do you call it? No, it's Mufti. Where do you buy this suit? Oh, Cantamanto. I saw them more than.
How do you know it was them?
Oh, I saw them. I went to Castle and I saw them. They were, Castle. There's a place. It's like a dungeon, very dark place. In fact, you move through there to some offices. I saw these people packed there. That was when President had just been sworn in, President Akufo-Addo. I went there to see a minister. Then I saw, why all these people here? That's what the minister told me. National security. They elect themselves sometimes that we want to be national security. And the parties allow them to stay like that. We cannot have a national security work this way. So that is it. And this thing about mode of arrest, I've said it. Look, I have been a victim before, 2009. How I was picked up by BNI. And myself and my colleague who were with Daily Guide at National BNI head office. We were just sitting out somewhere far away from. We were not even filming, we were not doing anything. We sat there because Kojo Mpieni had been arrested or is invited to just 2009. So my state media house said we should go and just be around and observe. Hang around. Hanging around, we were not even at the... we were supposed to hang around somewhere. And you see, if you are from a rich hospital coming to BNI office, there's a road leading straight to GBC.
Yes.
Before you turn to immigration, there's a road leading straight to. So when we came, we went and sat at the end. We just wanted to see movement of cars, whether Kojo Mpieni has been moved.
So you weren't even like...
No. We were not so... But the cameras... BNI headquarters, the cameras there saw us, captured us. So that we were there for some time. And they said... We sat there and we saw 5 well-built security officers. They moved straight to us. So we were supposed to be invited. We were invited to BNI office.
They invited you?
They came. So I asked why. I said, yes, they saw us. We have been here. We were loitering at the security zone. Loitering at security zone.
Is that also a security zone? Private buildings?
You don't worry. That's why I'm talking about how security works in this country. So my cameraman, he's called Emmanuel Kubi. He wanted to resist. He said, what have you done? So they held his trousers. And he's lightweight. He's lightweight. They pulled him up like this. He was hungry. I had to plead with them that, look, you let him down. We'll walk with you. Doc, you remember we went to, our phones were collected at the gate. We ate in BNI office. We sat at counterback for more than 6 hours. Nobody was telling us anything. Later on, they took us to an officer upstairs. When he said, we came and we were walking around, the cameras captured that this place is a security zone where we were doing security threat and all that. And I explained to him that, we came to see a friend. And the friend lived around that house. I didn't actually tell him the real story. Because I wouldn't tell him that we came to get a scoop on Kojo Mpieni. So I told him and said, okay, next time we should not
be loitering around
because that's a security zone. And he said we should go. We should go until we were released. Doc, we came back and we sat behind the counterback. The morning people who arrested us were closing. And they were handing us over to the evening batch. And I said, hey, Kujo, if I don't make noise, we're going to sleep here without any charge. So I started shouting. I said, look, if we have done something, charge us so they will call our lawyers to come and speak. I started shouting. I said, we have no right to keep us here. You have not told us our crime, anything, or no offense. So we started shouting, and later on, they released us and went. And when I came out, the radio stations were all calling. We had to look. So that is how our security has been working. This is a personal experience. But fortunately for us, we were not tortured. We were just some psychological torture, but not physical torture. And that's how our security works. Sometimes we don't use our brains to do some of these things. I totally agree with them that this is a security area that, look, we should not having people hovering around and all that. But we're not even close to the office. And that's how we're picked.
So would they arrest people in the private homes and offices there because it's a security zone?
No,
There are so many buildings
on your
around
street. If they don't want you to be walking on their street.
But those buildings.
That's the thing.
but those-
So in short, I am saying that look, we should not take. Let me just the two things. Party food soldiers should not be taken there. We should look at the level of education of people who are recruited in national security, because we should have some level of intelligence to operate at the security outfit. We should look at that, and this mode of appointment and how do you call it, reporting, who reports to who command chain of command. That is very important. We should look at, so that you don't have to take this person to go and take action before this person acts, another person acts. When you are in a particular position, you should know your responsibilities, that this is what I'm supposed to do. If you are not taking those actions, then the appointing authority has every right to take you out. And that's how it should be. You should not take brute force to take people out of office. And if you are also not supposed to be now, if you have no business being there in the first place, for somebody to take that brute force on you.
Nanaya, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think what's been described, and there have been many very justified sounds of indignation from members of our editors' forum about this, but what's being described is an endemic problem in officialdom in Ghana, in the sense that the assumption that one's official position gives one the right to act with impunity or with no need to have to account for one's actions is not much different from between, say, the national security operatives as described by staff of Citi FM in the case of Caleb Kuda, or indeed the unedifying sight of two very senior national security operatives scrapping publicly and defying one person appearing to defy all authority. It's not much difference from the treatment you get from some nurses when you go into our Ghana Health Service and you have to receive treatment. It's not much different from the attitude you get from some local government officials, or indeed some teachers or some tax inspectors, and so on and so forth. But when obviously you have problems of what by the editor's description is a breakdown of the chain of command, lack of clear structures, failure to account, and a belief that one's position of authority and access to weaponry gives one carte blanche to act however you please in whatever direction you please, then clearly you have a problem. I don't know that we have quite reached that stage, but the business of, say, police accountability or the accountability of other members of our security services obviously is an important one to which we should apply ourselves. I would reiterate again what I said yesterday about this being a government in transition. And so perhaps in relation to the particular problems involving the national security officials, that has been the main problem, that while the cat's away, at least one mouse, if not several mice, are playing and seeking to gain whatever foothold they can, whatever advantage they can. And that does not help the process. So the sooner we get clarity, we thought we had clarity at least in the case of national security, because that was an appointment that was made. It's not an appointment that I think is subject to renewal or reapproval or vetting or anything of the kind. So it's distressing that it should be happening in that sector. But you do have perhaps, the absence of Deputy Minister of National Security or Deputy Minister of Defence and so on, if you like, the administrative officials who could perhaps have got a handle on this earlier on, realizing the dangers to national security, the political risk involved as well, and so moved to do something about it. I would hope that, given the events of the past few days, those people who are in office and who have power to do something about it have called the people in question to order.
Let me add. You see, in Asasi Radio here, when we come, we are not able to enter the building. Why? Because you have an electronic lock system. And it's only those who are supposed to have access to this building that can put their fingerprint and enter this building, right?
Yes.
So when we come, they have to open us. If a staff of Asasi should have done something wrong and is dismissed, what happens? If you revoke the person's access, will the person be able to have access to this building again? No. You have revoked the access, so you take away the fingerprint card from your system. So the person can't have access to this building.
So your point is?
My point is that for anybody to tell me that you have to send physical human beings to go and remove DCOP, ISO, it meant that the national security has a problem.
Okay.
Because if their offices are electronically programmed like you have done here, all instructions that have to come from Accra is that revoke this man's access to the building after he has closed from work and gone home.
The security.
And once that is done, he can't have access to that building for anybody to go and remove him physically.
The security system is manned by human beings, some of whom will be his friends and some of whom will have been his subordinates in the past.
You are not understanding.
And that is,
Security works
it's like the
based
story.
on who to know.
It's like the story of the Great Wall of China. You build an impregnable fortress, and you think nobody can get over this wall to attack us. But you don't count for the people who are the security on the Great Wall of China, who let your enemies over the wall. That's always the problem with any security system.
It can't be.
Elvis, we're done.
Works based on who,
We are done.
who has the right to
You can hear Elvis Darko in the background ranting about security, revocation of security access. Nobody can hear him, unfortunately, but he's Nanaya smiling. We're moving on to next conversation. I mean, this issue of national security. I wish Kojo Mensah was here.
You don't, because you'll be standing here looking like a drink of porridge, possibly. Elvis. No. I think we can agree to disagree on that one, and I think disagree we must.
Yes.
It's annoying. I agree.
Yeah. So moving on.
they should fix one. They should do proper security.
Moving on to Andy can come as surprise. We're talking Galamsey, and we're talking about the renewed efforts of the Ghana Armed Forces in terms of Galamsey activities happening across the country and their modus operandi as well. I begin with you, Andy. You've seen the footage, you've seen or you've heard and read about Operation Halt 2. What do you make of this new approach that is being taken by the Ghana Armed Forces towards ending Galamsey or putting a stop to this menace that we have in our society?
Thank you. I think that the 2017 or so, was it 2017, or when the president declared war on illegal mining in Ghana, the media came on board. We were all supportive of the idea because of the devastating effects, activities of these galamseyers continue to pose to
our environment.
Yesterday I think from the Daily Dispatch, how Ghana Water is finding it very difficult to get us water. And per statistics in research, if we are not careful, some years to come, then we may be importing water. So, yes, we all support the fight, but no animal farm antics when it comes to the fight against Galamsey, where officials of government and party apparatchik will be allowed to do the work or to engage in Galamsey whilst others are chased. So yes, Operation Halt, we support it. There has been concerns and criticisms about this burning of excavators. And yesterday, myself and Elvis had an extensive I think, discussed on it on one of our platforms. We all agree that it's troubling, the burning of the excavators. And another issue is how well will this operation be sustained? And yesterday, I think I heard the Minister of Defense saying that they cannot sustain it. It's not sustainable, and definitely they can't, meaning that they can't continue to keep the military officers in the bush. So what do we do after collecting these champagne and excavators? First, I was not in support of the burning of the excavators, but the experiences from Galam Stop and Operation Vanguard, where we were told that by a minister that was responsible for that operation, that listen, make sure that we get rid of these galamseyers to protect our environment. He came and said that the excavators were missing. Clear dereliction of duty. If you drive through Asaliboche, you see the excavators parked there. So what do we do? I think that the measures should be punitive enough so that when they are going into the forest, they will know that you can't just go and carry out a mining activity and just leave the environment. I don't think we are all against responsible mining. Where you mine, you have your licenses, you mine, and then after that you do the reclamation.
Yes.
We don't have a problem. But those who are engaged in the illegal activities, destroying our water bodies and our forests, fine, we don't support them. And if, for now, we all have to support this effort to clear the space. Because yesterday, when with the aerial view, when it was shown, the devastation caused our environment. Please, this is not what we want to bequeath to our generation, the future generation. Posterity will never forgive us. And we've said it here. It is also part of responsibility. In fact, it behoves on the policymakers. To also tell those at the mining areas that listen, you can't continue to mine forever. So if government through its initiative is saying that listen, we are bringing some policies or programs, they must get involved. They must educate them that listen, you can agree the contribution of agriculture to our economy is huge than gold and whatever. Because as a country, we don't even have an assaying plant where the goals will be sent for them to be weighed. We don't have one. So why should we continue to destroy the forest because you want to get some quick money, go and sell something? We should begin to educate them. And yes, many have disagreed, they've criticized, including my friend Elvis. If you give him the opportunity, he's going straight to say that it's against the burning of the excavators. But for me, if that is what will make the people feel it, and anytime they are when they go for they go to the right process and they go back to the site. Listen,
but the question has been: do we engage in an illegality to bring about the end of an illegality? Yes. That's been what some people are also suggesting.
I think that listen,
is it even legal to do that?
No. Yes, it's troubling. That
no. The question is it legal? Not whether it's troubling.
You want to cure an illegality with an illegality. You understand that? Why? Why should you go destroying those things? But I think this is an operation, and they say Operation Halt. And so what they would do for the people to feel it.
Yeah, but if you seize the excavators, won't the people also feel it?
No, the excavators, we have the experiences. Why the people will go and give it back to them? They'll give it back to them, or it will be missing.
So you
it will be missing.
That?
So we don't want that story. We don't want that story again that, the excavators seized all right, but they are missing. No. So yes, let's support them.
So you support the burning of the excavators?
It's a necessary but painful.
Andy, I'm asking you a specific question. Yes. Do you support the burning?
It's a necessary.
No, Andy, yes, you are going around it, yes. But yes or no, do you support the burning of the excavators?
Yes.
Okay.
I support it.
Okay. All right. Andy, Elvis, I know you have a long thesis or
it's not easy. Yesterday,
a long
it was a whole show.
write-up on this particular. So situate it within the context for us. This renewed fight against Galamsey and the modus operandi of the Ghana Armed Forces, which now seems to include destruction or burning of excavators, as well as just to put a halt to the Galamsey activities. What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
How many
I
minutes
think
should
in
we
the
give you?
discussion of this thing,
How many minutes should we give you?
20 minutes.
Oh,
look,
are you looking
I
at
asked you for
that?
minutes.
No, listen.
So because let me speak.
Let's
yes.
share the time.
I think we have to commend President Akufo-Addo that he's even decided that he will do another fight. Because the first fight, he lost in all the mining communities in an election.
Yeah.
And his party is aspiring to break the 8 and become a 3-term government in Ghana. Yet, he has decided that he will still go and fight Galamsey. I think posterity will remember him in a very positive way one day. Yeah. Because few people looking at the electoral advantage at stake would even want to venture into any Galamsey fight. Because you did it and you had a good intention to do it. And the thank you is that we are not interested in your Galamsey fight, so we'll vote against you in all the mining communities across Ghana. So for me, it's something that in the midst of all the discussions, we need to take into account that the chances of NPP winning 2024 elections really is one that will have a lot of challenge if people should vote the same way they voted in 2020 because of Galamsey fight. So I think that the president has shown that when he promised that he's putting his presidency on the line, he actually meant it. And I think he deserved the commendation. My only problem is the burning of the excavators. And I will always disagree with anybody who says that because the first fight had challenges, burning is the solution. It is a lazy man way of thinking.
Why do you say so?
Because you don't tell me that a good idea wrongly implemented means that the idea is bad. It's completely fallacy for anybody to tell me that a good idea wrongly implemented makes the idea a bad one. I don't know what kind of logic is that. The wrongly implemented does not make the idea a bad one. The decision to seize the excavator, keep them, and find ways to use it is the best. It's not burning it. You look at the price of excavators and the list they are talking about, the small one that easily move around is about $80,000. Some as high as $500,000 per an excavator. So I calculated, okay, let me use just the 80,000 and say the over 60 that has been destroyed. We destroyed over $5 million worth of equipment. Okay? This equipment can be put to positive use. Please, when countries around the world seize drug money, do they say that the drug money is from drugs and therefore they go and set fire to the money and burn it? I don't get the logic. So for me, excavators number one, when we fight this Galamsey fight, the beginning is stopping it all. The major and the biggest job is reclamation. In the reclamation process, you need the same excavators to fill up all the pits that the Galamseys have left behind. Are we saying that when it comes to that point, we are going to buy new excavators or go and now use public money to go and hire excavators to go and fill the pits? When these ones can be kept and used, we should burn them, and then when that time comes, we go and hire excavators again at the cost of the public. I don't see the sense in that. Number two, these excavators are used for construction purposes. Okay? The Ghana Armed Forces, the 48th Indigenous Regiment of Ghana Armed Forces, people don't know, but they have built a lot of bridges across this country. Okay? The first ever infectious disease center in Ghana built by the private sector fund. The entire construction work was in the hands of the Ghana Armed Forces. They delivered the project less than 6 months. So can't we say that several rural communities that has been cut off by rivers because there are no culverts? We cannot give these excavators to Ghana Armed Forces, spray them in Armed Forces colors, and say, we are giving you some money to go out there, we provide a culvert, just go to communities cut off by rivers. Let's use the excavator to dig, put in culverts and cover it for them so that they can have access. Will this not be more beneficial to Ghanaians rather than burning it? Is it not the same Galamsey fight? So why is there anybody to tell me that we have to burn it? We pay millions of dollars a year to get Odo River. This Odo River here, we desilting it. We pay millions of dollars to companies to do it. What do they use? They use excavators. We are saying that these excavators cannot be positioned alongside the Odo River. That every month we just buy fuel for people to go and operate and desilt Odo River so the water can look good.
So you basically
even
don't
the water
agree.
bodies that we are trying to protect, Do you know that the beds have been full of debris? That if we want the water to be really clean, we still have to need the excavator to go there and dig out all the debris that the Galamsey have put in there. We have to spend another public money to do that. Why are we saying that this thing that can be used, NADMO, when they are called to events to go and solve, sometimes they need excavators, they don't have. And we are saying that we cannot put this excavator to good use, and the only excuse is that we should just set fire to them and burn them.
But what Andy was saying...
If we sell them and make money...
Yes, but what Andy was saying was that based on past experience, these excavators that were seized somehow ended up in the hands
Don't even give that excuse.
No, I'm just
That's
saying...
what I'm saying, that people who give, they shouldn't give that excuse, because why? I'm saying that a good plan, a good decision, wrongly implemented does not make the plan bad. So if somebody has done something wrong, punish the person and get them to do the job.
You are making,
don't say that
you are
because
making
Elvis
these
was
people
given this
rather look
duty
victims. So
to do this beautiful idea, and Elvis did the wrong thing. So let's throw away the beautiful idea of doing it and say let's do it another way. It makes no sense. So nobody should give me an idea.
we shouldn't make them look victims. So these Galamseyers
given the job to do didn't do the right
making
thing.
them look
They seized
victims.
Excavators and later
They are destroying the environment.
Which think Cincy is wrong. What does that? What kind of argument is that? Please, let's stop making this out. Are we being told how much we are spending on fuel and other things for the soldiers who are going? Have you been told? Do you know how much government is spending? If we sell these excavators to construction companies and we use the money to buy fuel for the anti-Galamsey, doesn't it make more sense? Why are we creating the impression as if that once the thing is involved, burning it is the only solution? Then when we seize drug money, let's burn it. Let's burn the drug money because drug money. It's a drug money. So when you seize drug money, set first the drug money and burn it.
You burn the drugs. You burn the
that one, I
drugs.
disagree with you. I disagree with you.
Said to be distributing
No.
drugs. So government is not promoting Galamsey.
Is it money? When they are causing distraction
it's
to
my
the
turn.
environment, that one is not money.
Who is saying stop the distractions?
And they don't do any responsible mining. We are talking about those involved in irresponsible mining.
I tell you what, use it for other beneficial purposes other than
You are not heard. It's my turn. Elvis.
I'll quickly come in.
I disagree with anybody.
Elvis, it's your.
Heroin is also a painkiller. When we seize a heroin whole, perhaps we should use it in the medical.
It's my
It's
turn.
not when it is processed. When it's processed for smoke.
When you were all talking, I kept quiet. So I expect everybody to keep quiet when I'm talking.
Go ahead.
Look, Doc.
Yes.
When before this operation started, what was the instruction to all the miners? That they were given 7 days to leave forest reserves if you have your excavators there, to leave water bodies if you have your excavators there. Is anybody telling us, or the people's excavators have been bent, telling us that the excavators were not near water bodies, they were parked in Asakore Mampo market and they were bent? Where were they bent? These excavators that we are talking about. Look, I am saying that people are saying that, look, this theories that Elvis is postulating.
Which one specifically?
That we should seize the excavators and you give it to assemblies to this thing. When we started burning these were the old same theories that were this thing, and we stopped. And the excavators were seized, they went back. Look, let's look at the law. If the law doesn't say that we should burn them, look, on 25th, Parliament is coming. Just take the law there. Take it that if you find your excavator around water bodies,
Just amend it.
or forest reserve, we'll burn it there and then.
Should be destroyed.
It should be destroyed. Look, Doc, I have a radical view on this whole mining thing. That because people have enjoyed gold money, they are spoiling our water bodies. 2, 3, 5 years time, we'll not get water to drink, and people are talking about cost of excavators. Do you know the cost of the water that we'll be exporting or we will not even drink? Do you know the health hazards that these people are causing to all Ghanaians? We are talking of excavators. In any case, if you buy your excavator and you use it on the streets of Accra
For lawful
purposes, who bothers to go and be burning your excavator? You take your excavator to water bodies,
The forest.
forests, destroy our land, destroy our water bodies, and you are talking of dollars in buying the thing. Look, we have not succeeded in this burning thing because when we started, the burning was not done right. It was selective. MPP was in power, you go and ban NDC people excavators. NDC in power, they go and ban MPP people's excavators. That's why they think they didn't succeed. Now the banning is affecting everybody. You heard of MPP National Women's Organizer and her company shouting all over the place because the excavator was banned. Where did they find the excavator?
Yeah, but the suggestion is that they are into legal mining.
Legal mining, and where was it banned? I ask a simple question. If you are illegal mining, will you be around forests or water bodies? Or they are telling us that the thing was packed in their concession somewhere and they went there to burn. They should tell us where the thing was burnt. If it is not near water body or forest. Let's ban everybody's excavator who is around water bodies. Whether you are MPP National Women's Organizer, you are MPP President or NDC General Secretary. Look, this thing about this Mobrowa thing, they think it's so costly. Let's seize it and give it to... Look, excavators, the best thing is to dig. What they do a reconstruction, maybe if you are gutters, that's what you can use to. But digging gutters, can you compare that to the water bodies and the forests they are destroying for this country, the future generation of this country? Look, as for the burning, I'm saying that if the law doesn't permit it, on 25th when Parliament resumes, government, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, take that act to Parliament for you to amend it. It takes few minutes to amend that particular section to say that if your excavator is found around water bodies, we'll ban it.
But is this a sustainable approach?
It is.
Is it going to actually...
I am saying that it is sustainable. It is sustainable. It was not sustainable because it was selective. Because when you ban, if you are a party, if you are in government, you ban your political opponents' excavators, and people will shout. They will be shouting that you are selective, and then you stop. That's why it's not. Look, if you go and buy an excavator for $200,000 and you take it there, it's bent. Go and buy another one and come. It's bent. If you have common sense, you will not continue wasting your money on that venture.
People should begin to diversify.
Look, this thing, and we should not, this particular operation, Doc, we should not allow the people there to stay there for long. It should be a constant thing. This is a war. When we are going for the peacekeeping, what do? We send soldiers there for some period of they come, we send fresh people so that they will not be corrupted. Yeah. That's what we should sustain. If you take us 10 years to do this job, after when we have conflicts in Ghana, we send soldiers there and keep the peace. This is a war that we are fighting. And this thing should continue, persist, until the people leave our water bodies. You know what they do, Doc? They go and put their pumping machines in our water. They divert, they remove the water, then they leave the soil to be able to mine. That's one thing. Another one is they put the machines in the water itself, champagne, and they pollute the water. Now, 48 or 49 excavators have been bent, and over 100 champagnes have been bent. Let nobody come and cry to us that we should put these things to good use. Champagne, what good use can we put champagnes to? Than burning the things that pollute our water bodies. Look,
I never mentioned champagne. I said excavators.
Even the excavators. Don't buy your excavator 200,000 and go and put in our water bodies.
Burn the excavators, so.
Don't go and buy your.
It's wrong.
Hey, me tell, Masa, who kasa no man kasa, who kasa? You think?
Can use it for beneficial purpose.
I don't care. What are you talking about? I don't care. What I'm bothered about is the water bodies and the forests that they are destroying.
Who said they shouldn't fight? We said they should fight.
It is my turn.
It
is my turn. It is my turn.
Gentlemen.
It is my turn.
Gentlemen, I'll wrap up your point.
I'm wrapping up. Look, if I have my way, the radical way, let me provide it. Once again, I've said it here several times.
Which is what?
I will look at the cost, the money that this so-called small-scale money is bringing to the country, and the cost of destruction of our environment, our water bodies. I will look at that. If we do the cost-benefit analysis, and we say that, look, this doesn't bring much. People have enjoyed that money too much. That's why they are destroying our water bodies. Why can't we, as a state, look at it that, look, if we ban this so-called small-scale money for a number of years, so that the people are engaged there will look for something to do, so that they will enjoy the money and continue to be there, ban it for some time. If it is 4, 5 years, 6 years, nobody does any small-scale mining in this country. Let's look at new ways of living. Livelihood strategies. We adopt new livelihood strategies.
But if you're banning, let's say, small-scale mining, which is not illegal, and you're saying
Yes.
for purposes of sustainability, let's
Yes.
put a halt to it for a period of time.
Yes.
And you're bringing an end to it immediately.
Yes. No,
How are
not immediately. We can give period of time.
Okay.
That from this time, once we by this period we'll halt it.
And how are you going to provide alternative livelihoods for the people whose very lives?
Look, I am a Muslim, and I don't go near pig,
Okay.
pork. But I understand a country like Singapore, Charlie, they enjoy it. They export the money people are making from pork, exporting it to Singapore. There are a lot of Christians who are into this piggery thing. There are a lot of Muslims who don't do it. They are into it. Is it not an alternative? How long does it take to do piggery, to do that farming? How long? There are other things that fetch money. Gold, because the people just go and watch the thing, they get it and do all manner of things. I'm saying that there are livelihoods that we can adopt. Livelihood strategies that will let the people enjoy. Look, there are a lot of things. This now, even farming of maize, cotton, and all that, you make a lot of money out of it. That's what we should be thinking of. This thing about quick money from gold. Look, if you don't continue like this, the fight against galamsey or fight against this illegal mining will never stop. So we should be thinking in that line, that how much at all is gold bringing to this country? Even the big mining companies, how much do we get from them to allow our water bodies to be destroyed? In future, we'll be in this country. Look, we'll find diseases that we don't even have cure. Now we are struggling with COVID. We are going to bring mercury is being used to wash gold, and that is polluting our water bodies, polluting our food stuff. And all this is what do we expect 5 to 10 years time? What kind of sickness will we be getting in this country? And people are talking of champagnes costing $200,000 excavators. What has it got to do with the destruction that is doing to this country? If you are common sense, you go and buy $200,000 excavator and go and put in around our water bodies to mine gold. You can't bring your selfish or greed to destroy this country.
Andy, quick
one.
Yeah.
You see, with these alternative livelihood sources, I think that given the synergy between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire in the cocoa sector, I think there have been some monumental achievement about how the pricing and what they are getting. So we should just educate them that, listen, you can't continue mining and degrading the environment forever because of quick money. And there are other alternatives that can.
But the point is, they're making so much of the mining that you cannot make in any of the other.
Yes. No, you cannot make. But listen, don't you see that is about your ingenuity, how you diversify into other businesses that you get much returns, but not destroying the environment. You see, if we continue to support this thing that they shouldn't build excavators, we are rather making these people look victims when we are the ones.
The Ghanaians are victims.
The Ghanaians are victims. So please, we should just all get on board. You may have your concerns, but that's like Awudu said, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the Defense Minister, and I think it will be spearheaded by the Attorney General. They should just go to Parliament 25th.
No, this particular law is under the purview of
just go amend the law to give them the power to ban.
I don't even see. Look, Doc, I don't even see any problem with it. When he's talking about cocaine money, when we seize cocaine, do we keep it? That doesn't have use for. Don't we have use for cocaine? Do you know cocaine have medical? This thing? Don't we ban it?
The one they seize is the process to do that. Don't be comparing.
I will compare. When armed robbers go and rob, and we seize the AK-47, do we give the AK-47 to Ghana military? Don't we ban them?
That's not how pharmaceutical companies process their cocaine. So don't compare.
Into the
Please, nobody is saying that when you seize excavator, give it to the owners. That's what we said.
Yes, we get
I said the state that is seizing it can make good use of it
We
for the
don't
benefit
need it.
of the
They
public.
shouldn't even buy it.
So
We
the
don't
idea
even.
that-
If the state, we should not
banning
buy
is
our
the
own
solution.
excavators.
It's completely waste of time.
So-
If they say we should ban gold mining, I don't give a fuck because I've always thought that.
please, language.
Okay, sorry. I always thought that.
Language.
But as you said, cost-benefit analysis is always important. If, as of today, 100 years of mining gold, we are not the second or the third largest
Why do we continue?
market for buying jewelries, but it is Dubai, it means that we have not done anything. So for me, if somebody thinks that we should ban gold mining, it's not that from large to small scale, complete gold ban. The whole Ghana, we don't want to mine gold again for the next 20 years.
I agree.
I don't have a problem.
I'll support that.
But if we say we should do it, then we should allow people to do it. And the ones that we think are not being done by law, let's do it. Look, Master, there's a lot to be done. Oh.
Yes,
if we want school money to work, do you know the number of people who can be employed as inspectors to make sure that these people do their work according to the law?
Obviously,
please, let's not be.
Obviously, we can't finish this conversation today. There's just like you're saying, there's a lot to be done. We have little time that we have left. Nanaya, before I come to you, a Facebook viewer is saying, I am a galamseya. Nobody can stop galamsey. Very soon we will bounce back. I don't know whether this is just someone just being adventurous or...
It's a bit about talk.
We will very much hope that it's somebody just trying to bait us and wind us up.
So what in wrapping up, it seems Andy and Awudu are on one side of this debate that we're having. They are all for burning it.